If you are a short-term rental owner like us, you probably found yourself falling in love with certain products at your properties and wondering, why don't we have this at home?
That's a very good question.
So today we're going to spill all the details about products that we've used that have made it into our own home, and then some of the ones that didn't quite make the cut.
We'll be covering everything from smart home tech that makes our lives easier, to must-have items in the kitchen, to some bed and living room favorites.
And in a world where it's common for people to save on their rental properties and splurge on their own home, we're going to share a few items where you might be surprised that we've chosen the budget option versus the more expensive one.
You know how I love a good deal.
Let's kick things off with smart home tech. If you've seen any of our smart home videos, you probably know that we are not fans of the standard issue routers that come from your internet service provider.
Fast but also reliable internet is one of the most important things when it comes to guest satisfaction at your property.
And if you've ever had to deal with spotty connectivity at your property, which leads to a more than unhappy guest, you know exactly what we're talking about.
We ditched the router that comes from the service provider, and our preference is the Orbi Mesh router series from Netgear. These have been rock solid at all of our rental properties and also an essential part of our homes.
These routers are extremely reliable, but we also like that we can check connectivity from anywhere remotely if some sort of issue comes up.
Yeah, we've had issues where a guest might have trouble connecting. They message us, we can log into the router, we can see if their device is connected or not, we can check if our devices are connected, we can run a speed test on the router, we can make the router reboot itself remotely. All these things, it's just nice to have the capability when you're away from the property. That kind of goes into the why. We had a comment on one of our recent videos asking us to explain a bit more about why we chose the things that we did. When it comes to routers, that is a little detail about why.
We'll be filming that video very soon, so we're not going to go into that much detail today. But if you want to see our side-by-side comparisons on all the different top options for smart home picks for your short-term rental, then be sure that you are subscribed and have your notifications turned on so that you don't miss that video in a couple weeks.
You've heard us talk about cameras before, and we like the Wise camera for our properties, and it's a good and it's a cheap option. We've decided to put some of those in our own properties as well.
At around $30 per camera, they are a fraction of the cost of some of the more expensive models out there, but they still meet all of our needs.
The affordability also means it's not a problem to put a few around the perimeter of your house. Like we put one on the side of our house. We had an outlet by the kids' swing set. If we're in the house and want to take a peek at what they're up to, we can.
And now that we're suddenly pet people, we also have one by our cat's food area so we can check on him if we're not at home.
Let's check our fancy new camera system.
Another must-have for our rentals and now in our house is a smart lock. We really don't want to be bothered with keys, so a smart lock is a no-brainer.
We even installed one of those smart garage door keypads at our house, which is probably one of our favorite pieces of tech for STR, but we like it at home too.
One of the things we like specifically of it being at our house is that we could open the door, set a code if there was something being delivered, and we could have them put it in the garage.
Or we can take advantage of Amazon's key delivery, where they will actually open the garage door if it's connected to a MyQ device like the keypad, and then put your package inside and close the door.
One of the things from our smart home list that we don't use at home is a noise monitor. We're looking at STRs for rowdy and loud guests. It's not something that really happens at our house, so we skip that.
Now on to the kitchen. So there are a lot of items that overlap between what we like to put in our STRs and what we like to use at home. So we're not going to go over every single item on our sample inventory list in today's video.
But if you would like to check out our sample inventory list, you can visit the link in the video description below or go to arrivals.com/inventory.
All of the items that we put in every room in our STRs and some in our own home are on that list. And we'll also include some of the ones we're talking about today in the description box.
So like Kylie said, we're not going to go through all the details of all the overlap between our list and what's at our house, but some of our favorites include pots and pans, which we'll start with.
We used to buy the Costco Kirkland brand set of pots and pans for our STRs, but recently we started using this granite set from Amazon, and we've liked it so much that we bought a full set for our house here.
I make eggs every morning, and a few years ago I found these pans because we had this larger frying pan and I wanted a smaller one, just enough for eggs in the morning, and so I bought one of these.
That pan has been used almost every single day for the last 2 years, and it's still in great condition. It works really well. He likes it. So we decided when we saw it on a Black Friday sale to get the whole set for our Iowa property here.
Add to shopping cart.
The next item is these coffee mugs, and I almost didn't share this because they do go out of stock sometimes, and they're my favorite for home, but also to put in rental properties. But we don't gatekeep around here, so this is a good one.
Those mugs are from Target, and what we like about them is they're a bit larger size than a standard 8 to 10 ounce coffee mug. So when you make coffee and Kylie uses her frother often, then she's not making a mess.
Most of the time when you're buying sets of dishes, especially on Amazon, and they come with mugs, they're pretty small, the ones that they come with. So we really like these ones. They come in cream and black, and we will link them below.
And on the subject of coffee, one of the things that we always put in our rental properties is a Keurig machine, but that isn't something that we've chosen to get for home.
Steven doesn't drink coffee, and I drink it occasionally, just maybe a couple times a week. And when I do make coffee at home, I like our Nespresso a little bit better. But I do use the same electric kettle that we put in our properties and have at home to make Rise coffee daily. And I love that one.
We also have to mention our favorite dish soap dispenser. We put one of these in every one of our rental properties, and we have them at home too.
Along those same lines, we use glass jars, specifically these nice looking ones with wooden lids to hold dishwasher tabs and other things at properties, but we also like to use these at home.
The reason we got into these at properties is it's an easy way to visually see when we're inspecting a house if something needs to be restocked.
So it might seem unnecessary to have those at home, but it's an inexpensive addition. It just feels nicer to pull it out of the jar than it does out of the plastic Costco tub. Just little luxuries. He doesn't get it.
Moving on to bedroom items, you might be surprised to learn that we use the exact same mattress at home that we do in all of our rental properties.
It's a plush memory foam mattress that gives you support like a memory foam mattress, but it's softer than the comparable Zionist brand that you'll find on Amazon.
We have them in our room, our kids' rooms, our guest room. Everyone sleeps on this mattress.
We've tried a bunch of different mattresses over the years for our STRs. We were using Zionist for a while, but we decided to give this one a try, and we were sleeping on it because we were setting up a remote property, and we ended up deciding to get one for our own house.
Plus, it's at a price point where if we have to buy multiple, setting up a new property, it isn't going to sting too much. And I mean, while you can spend 5 times or more on mattresses, we get good guest feedback from these. We like them. There just isn't really a reason to spend more.
We also use the same zippered encasements at home that we do in our STRs.
The reasons we do this at properties is to control stains or protect from bed bugs, but at home they can also protect from dust and allergens and just keep your mattress looking new.
And then there are the sheets. So I used to be admittedly a bit of a sheet snob. I just thought that there was a direct correlation between price and comfort.
But when we set up our first STR years ago, we quickly realized that we couldn't afford to buy top dollar sheets that probably needed to be replaced a couple times a year.
Steven did some research and he found a set that really fits the bill for both affordability and quality and comfort. And after trying them out ourselves, we switched to those and we haven't looked back.
It was a big mindset shift for us and proof that you don't need to always spend a lot or break the bank to get quality.
It's Egyptian cotton 400 thread count.
When it comes to pillows, we're a little more picky. At the rental properties, we always provide one softer pillow and one more firm pillow, but we both prefer a memory foam pillow that's kind of a hybrid.
The problem is that we don't like firm memory foam.
You get real personal here.
Yeah, we've had the same pillows at home for several years, found them, like them, but they're not available anymore. So when we bought this house, we tried a few that ended up being too firm and we didn't like them.
The problem was we were looking at like the highest rated memory foam pillows, and when I started looking at the ones that were a little lower star rating, those bad reviews were saying that they were too soft.
The negative reviews saying they were too soft was actually what we want, and so we've settled on this one.
And we've been using them all summer. We love it. Ordered 2 more for our place back home. These ones are not on our sample inventory list, but we'll link them below.
Hey, nice pillow.
One of the things that we put in rental properties that we don't use at home is a quilt on the beds.
We prefer something a little thicker for sleeping with, especially because doing laundry and the time to do laundry is not as much of an issue as it is at the properties with same-day turnovers.
And while we still aren't big fans of duvet covers, we know some of you are, we have a discount code for Fixed Linens for 30% off of their duvet covers, which are the ones that we choose if we must use duvets.
Yeah, fixed linens is our only exception for duvet covers just because their triple zip system is super easy to use for changing, and they also label all of them with the bed size.
We know bedding is not one size fits all. Some people swear by duvets, others are fine with the kind of the layering approach with quilts, but we'll link both of our favorite options in the description box below and on our sample inventory list.
Finally, let's talk about the living room. With 2 young kids, having rugs and picking out a long-lasting rug can be a struggle. Most of the time we're choosing between just not putting one there at all or getting a washable one.
A few years ago, Ruggable was one of the first and only options for washable rugs, and they're great. But these days, there are more plentiful and budget-friendly options.
We've got a few of our favorites listed over on our website, and you can view the full list by going to arrivals.com/rugs.
The washable rugs really are a lifesaver, especially if our 3-year-old turns lunchtime into some kind of art project.
They're kids, not appliances. Life is messy.
One thing to note about these washable rugs, they are very thin, so if you like more of a cushion, you'll definitely want to get a rug pad.
And they're often shipped folded, which means when you unfold them, there can be some wrinkling. This usually relaxes after a few days, or walk on them a lot and they'll kind of smooth out.
When it comes to TVs, we have the same mentality that we do about sheets.
It can be tempting to look at an expensive TV and think, this must be a lot better than this $500 TV next to it. And there probably is some truth to that when it comes to some features or certain viewing situations.
But we've been really happy with the ones that we've bought, and we can think of a lot of other things that we'd prefer to spend that $1,000 savings on than a TV. When we're looking at TVs, we really like the simplicity of a Roku interface, both at our properties and also at home.
So we'll link a few options that are currently available, but if you're watching this in a year, check out our sample inventory because models change from year to year. We keep that updated with the latest ones that we're buying.
And a new 65-inch TV.
So there you have it, the STR favorites that have found their way from our properties into our own home, and a few that didn't make the cut.
If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like more short-term rental tips.
And as always, all of the links we've discussed today are in the description box, and we'll leave another video here on screen that we think you'll want to watch next.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.